And welcome to Big Apple Hockey. I am your host for the night, Mr. John Folkowski. As always, down there, down over there, 92 and 82. Follow me on Twitter. Get to see the ramblings and ravings of a deranged Rangers fan. Yeah, I'm going to call myself deranged. Whatever. I don't care. All right. I have fun with it. I'm hard on myself, and I'm realistic. So, you know what? We're all fans, right? Yep. That's why we're here. We're here to rejoice and commiserate over this team's wins and losses. And welcome to what we call the final buzzer. That is the name of the show now. I know you all referred to it as the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good, the bad, and the ugly is definitely a part of the show. It's a segment. So, but the name of the show is the final buzzer. As you can see, as captioned in the video, what's going on, Dylan? Good playing last night, bud. Definitely a good skate. You played well in net, and keep it up. So that was awesome. I don't know if any of you follow me on Facebook, but I posted that onto my Facebook story. We were all playing some puck last night, and the ODRs are a little too cold. ODR, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know, is outdoor rink, for those not familiar with the terminology. So the ODRs are a little too cold around here right now. So we went indoors, and we had a good time. Yeah, and Schneider looms. Welcome back, Honky Lips. I see you there. Ben Schneider definitely does loom. So it's awesome to see him. We're going to talk about him in a bit. But you know what time it is, everybody. You know what we got to get to, because it's part of the big reason why we do this. But yeah, so here we go with the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm going to start off with an ugly for today. And the ugly doesn't really have anything to do with the game. It's more so with me. Sorry that I didn't get to give you guys more notice on this. I had a lot going on this weekend between helping some friends out with some stuff, helped a friend out with moving stuff out of his father's apartment, and then another friend out after that, and had a lot of hockey this weekend. So I didn't know what my weekend was really going to look like. I got asked if I was doing this earlier on. So, hey, Lou, hey, Everest. But yeah, sorry that it was a little last minute with this. So I just got a lot going on right now, and I wanted to get this done. I actually had hockey last night during the game. I actually caught the first period at Texas Roadhouse, funny enough, with some friends, since the Texas Roadhouse was literally right across the street from the rink. Jason and Dylan both know what that's about. So definitely glad to have you all here, and anyone else who joins as well. But yes, thank you very much for that compliment, Everest. I appreciate that, man. We really do appreciate that. We're working hard to try to give you guys more content and better content and continue to improve all these shows. So we're doing everything that we can here, and we want to make sure that you guys are all happy watching this stuff, because we love doing it, but, you know, we want to make sure that we put out the best possible content we can. So, I don't know if I saw terrible ice, but I saw hustle. I definitely saw that, Mike, and welcome, by the way. So we'll get into the goods first, usually, as we do. So first line with the big game. You can't tell me that they didn't look good. They looked really good, I thought. Mika and Kreider looked great. I could actually give each of the three of them a big like their own bullet point, but I just figured it would be easier and we could shorten it up just by having them all in this one bullet point here and just talking about them individually. So I thought Mika Zibanejad looked like he was a real play driver. Yeah, Jason, I totally agree. We're going to talk about him in a bit, because he got his own bullet point. So we're going to definitely talk about him in a bit. I thought the first line was really good. I thought Mika has just continued his really good play. He seems to be a notorious slow starter. if you guys aren't noticing the same thing that I'm noticing. I assume you all are, because it's fairly obvious he seems to be a slow starter, and he's coming back with some really strong games. 18 points in the last 7 games against the Flyers. That's against the Flyers. But yeah, that was going back to the St. Patrick's Day massacre, the 2 6-point games that he had last year. In his last however many, I'm actually going to look up his stats here on Hockey Reference, because I want to see how many points he actually has recently, because it's good that you actually bring that stat up, because I'm curious as to how many he actually has recently, because his game has gone and taken, and no worries, Jay, no worries, but I mean, it's actually good that you forgot that, because now you're making me take a look at this, and I want to take a look at this, because I want to highlight how good he's actually been lately. I mean, his last 5 games alone, he's got okay, I don't know why it's not coming up. Okay, so his last 5 games alone, he's got 5 points, including 3 goals and 2 assists. So let's take a look at his game logs. I'm just going through Hockey Reference right here. And yeah, you're right. His game has jumped a few tiers in the past month. It's ridiculous on how good he's been. How much of a night and day type difference he's been. And hey, Rick, what's going on, man? We don't have any snow over here, thank God. I'm done with snow. I'm over it already. I can't stand snow to begin with. So call me the Grinch if you'd like. But yeah. So let's just say his game looks, it's funny because earlier on in the season he wasn't playing well, but I would say let's just say since all right, yeah, so I would say last month or so. Okay, so since December 10th, he has 15 points in 14 games. If you go back to the beginning of December, since the beginning of December, he has 19 points in 19 games. So really good. Othman versus Cooley tonight. That's going to be an interesting one. Let's talk about more of that when the Q&A section, Stephen. I definitely want to talk about that in a little later. So definitely, I'll bookmark this. We'll get back to that. What's going on, Stephen? By the way, I got your space invite last night. I literally went to sleep just before you sent that invite. I had to go to sleep at that point because I had to wake up for hockey at 7:45. So that was not fun, but yeah. So yeah, 10 plus 5 in 13 games since that moment. See, and it ties it into exactly what Jay said here before about his game jumping a few tiers in the past month. It's been awesome to see this. It really has. This team has needed its number 1 center to play like a number 1 center, and he's played like a number 1 center. And I'm not going to go without giving someone who I know that goes by the name Amazing Kreider Man on a forum. I'm not going to go without giving that man that he's paying homage to there love, because he's been awesome, and he got another goal last night. And I thought that his game was really good at both ends of the rink. He had that jump again. He was good protecting the puck along the boards. I thought he made some good plays on defense. He looked like he brought his lunch pail, and the team seems to respond when Chris Kreider brings his lunch pail. Could that be foreshadowing about someone being a future captain? Maybe. Anyone? Kreider, kind of like Bueller, but Kreider. I know. Corny reference. I know. Poorly done, Filk. You could throw the tomatoes. It's fine. I deserve it after that one. But Chris Kreider really stepped up and played by example last night, and that's important. And Stephen, I've had these conversations with you. A captain should be should be someone that leads by example. Does it happen every shift? No. But you want him to make those kind of statements by leading by example in certain games. And this was one of those games where Chris Kreider, yeah, Mark is definitely getting the tingles and jingles about that one. I'm surprised Mark didn't send me another text message last night saying only 6 until 30. It's funny because I always like to take a look at Chris Kreider's 2018-2019 season and take a look at how many goals that he had after the 38th game. So we're going to do a little, again, Jason, thank you for making me pull up hockey reference because this is very helpful here, actually. We're going to go into Chris Kreider's game log. So this was the 38th game from the Rangers. Hold on. Yeah, this I believe was game 38, right? So I'm sorry, I'm just a little unprepared here, as you can see, obviously. So 39th game for the Rangers, and in 2019 at game 39, he had 20 goals in 39 games in 2018-19. Yeah, so he now has 24 goals this year in 39 games as opposed to the 20 that he had in 39 games last year, which is incredible to think about because Chris Kreider is now, in terms of the league scoring, he is third, I believe, in goals. So, he's fourth. Sorry, he's one behind Austin Matthews for third, for the tie for third. And Alexander Ovechkin at age 36 is just blowing everybody's mind, is on pace for 55 goals. So, which is just unreal. But Chris Kreider is on pace for 50 goals and 75 points over 82 games. And thank you very much, Mike. We appreciate that. Always good to have Joe here as well. I saw your wrestling pick, Joe. I thought that was awesome. Definitely keep putting up more of the wrestling pictures. I will keep liking those because you know me. I love everything wrestling. Orange Cassidy, thumbs up. But yeah, definitely thank you, Mike. Guys, please, if you can, like, share, and subscribe. I don't like asking or, bothering anybody for it, but I will ask just because, you guys keep bringing it up as well. And it definitely helps grow the channel, get more eyes on us. I mean, we've got eyes from other shows. Steven, obviously, on Rangers Review with Tyler. He's in here with us. We've even seen Tyler in our chats. Core Python, watch his videos as well. He does some good stuff. Definitely. But, feel free to drop your other stuff in here too. If you've got, Rangers related content, please drop it in here. We want to support everybody that, if you don't, we will. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, Steven, yeah, I'm going to bookmark that as well. We'll talk about that in the Q&A. I don't want to get too depth into that right now. Yeah, Jay, it's all right. I always think of it as field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. And it's on me for doing this last minute. I did it last minute. That's on me. That's why I started off with the ugly and apologized for it. So, what? If I would have done this ahead of time and I would have known what was going on, what my Sunday was going to be like, I actually originally thought I wasn't going to be able to do this because I got asked to fill in last night for another hockey game at 9:00 tonight. So I didn't think I was going to have time to do this, and I had some time. And you know what? We're here. Let's talk hockey. So, but yeah, and Kakko played well. I know he got an assist, which I was happy with. So he got the assist on the Chris Kreider goal. And I like the fact that he was in the dirty areas. He was in the dirty areas and he was mixing it up and he looked good protecting the puck along the boards. If I yell at there, I know what you're referring to here. And yeah, but yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. I'll take all the likes we can get here. So, but I honestly, Mike, I didn't see that. We're going to talk about that. So I will try to find that during the Q&A time. Yeah, I thought Kakko was good. Yeah, and you're right, Steven. It wasn't a fluke. He said it. Yeah, he set up the Fox shot, and that's really what you want to see. You want to see the guy get the puck along the boards and make plays, and you want to see him score goals too, obviously. But you know what? If the points start coming, the confidence is going to get up there, and that's the biggest thing with this kid. It seems that there's a lack of confidence on a lot of times with him, and you just want him to start building that confidence and get his game growing. And if you can get on a nice little run, that's all it takes. Sometimes all it takes is one run, and you get that player to start playing better. So yeah, he looked good last night. I was very happy with his game. He didn't look like he was chasing the game like he looked in the previous couple of games, which is good because I really didn't notice him in the San Jose game. And the LA game, everybody was chasing it, but LA speed just made him look kind of really, really slow. So good on Kakko. You know, and you're right, Steven. Sometimes they're nothing burgers, but this one actually contributed. So I absolutely agree. You want him to be involved in the play. Sometimes it's, you know what? Even if he didn't get the point, if he made a play that Turk sees and he goes back to the bench and Turk, gives him credit for it. You know, sometimes that's all it takes is the coach's reassurance and saying, hey, you made a really good play there. And even though you didn't get a point, that goal doesn't happen without your play. And you know what? Sometimes it's a confidence booster, you know? So good on Kakko. I definitely noticed him last night. The first period, I didn't think that him or Kreider were really all that great. I didn't think they were bad, but I didn't think they were great. But in the second and the third periods, I thought they were very, very noticeable. So, and then moving on from that point, obviously we got to talk about this, man. He shook off the rust last night. I thought that he needed a game like that. He had 2 assists. So for Artemi Panarin to really shake off the rust and start making the plays that we're used to seeing Artemi Panarin make, that's big. That is really big. So you know what? I'm happy with that. I thought that he played really well. He looked good defensively. His legs were moving. He was in the right spots at the right times. Yeah, maybe he could have backchecked a little better on the first goal, on Philly's first goal, because he was the first man back. So if you're going to be the first man back, you got to pick up the third man. You know what, Broncos? Welcome back, by the way, bud. I'm going to bookmark this. We're going to talk about that later. So good call there, because I definitely addressed that if anybody follows me on Twitter. So, but yeah, Brad looked much better. There's still a little rust. Yeah, but Mikey, I know we can both agree that he definitely looked much better in this game as opposed to the previous ones that he played when he first came back. So, you know, it's one step at a time. You can't ask for too much at first, and he's finally back, and he played well tonight. So I'm happy about that, and good on Panarin to get back in the lineup and start playing well. So good. I mean, what else can I really say about this guy? This guy's wowed us for 3 years now, this third season. So, and yeah, and so much better in the previous 2. You know what? I will disagree with you on that last part, Mike. I didn't think he was met in the first period. I thought he made a few really good defensive plays, and he even made a couple of really good plays to advance the puck in situations where he was under pressure. And in the previous 2 games, he wasn't making those plays because those passes were off by just a bit. You could just see that he was getting frustrated because he wasn't making those passes. He was making those passes in the first period. I mean, sure, no points came out of it, but you know what? Great. Great to see him now. And you're right, Rick. Great assist on the Chytil goal. Really was. So, we're going to move on from Panarin, though, because there's a certain someone that just came up into the lineup that's continuing to impress, and that's Brayden Schneider. I would love to know if there are any Ranger fans that aren't impressed with this kid's play. Like, you know what? I'm going to pull something Sorry about that, but I had to grab this because I think it's you guys are going to think it's cool, and I got this over the summer. But Brandon Wheat Kings, nothing on the back as of yet, but Schneider's going on there. The C is going on here, and his number as well. So, yeah, I'm definitely getting Brayden Schneider's number. I may even wear this to Hank Night because if he's playing, I'm going to wear it to Hank Night because I definitely want to get a yeah, and Chris G. That's definitely a good one. And you're right about this, Mike. He is making a real good case for them to be able to move Trouba as soon as possible. I didn't think Trouba was all that good. We're going to talk about him a little later. I think there are definitely a few mental mistakes he made last night. And thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. But you guys were all talking about Schneider. Yeah, and Trouba did. He did. I saw that. He joked around and said that this guy's coming for my job, which I thought was hilarious. Good on Jacob Trouba to have some fun with it, though. You know what? Good. And you want your leaders to be able to have a little fun. Trouba has been a leader for this team this year. You can definitely see it in his play. I didn't think he was as physical in this game as he was in previous games, but I think that we're going to talk about Trouba anyway. I'm getting a little sidetracked. Sorry, boys and girls, if you the girls are in here. But yeah, I think that Braden Schneider has just been phenomenal for them so far. I really do. I thought the first period, obviously, he missed some time when he got the cut from the puck and had to go off. The biggest thing for me with Braden Schneider, there are two things that have really impressed me about his play. Braden Schneider, his skating has been really good. I did not I saw him in Hartford and I was like, okay, you know what? I'll say 3 actually, because somebody just reminded me of the third thing. And thank you for that, honky lips. One, his skating is far and away better than I thought it would be right now for the NHL level. I did not think that his skating was going to be this good. Like, I've seen him play in Hartford. I've watched games. But I didn't think that he was like as far along of a skater in terms of the NHL level play yet. Hey, Brody. But Braden Schneider, his skating and his footwork have both been really good. The speed of the game has not eaten him up at all. And you're right about this, Mike, too. He nailed Timo Meier. And that's another thing. I know I didn't get to do a good, bad, and ugly for the Sharks game, or our final buzzer, rather, for the Sharks game, and do a good, bad, and ugly for that. But, yeah, I tell you right now, he had a great game against San Jose. And he roughed up Timo Meier along the boards early on. And I if you follow me on Twitter, again, my Twitter handle, I'll get rid of this banner so you guys can see it. Actually, you know what? I'll make a banner that goes along. So follow me on Twitter at 92 in 82. Scroll across bottom, ticker. Add banner. So yeah, follow me on Twitter at 92 and 82. That's my Twitter handle on there, but I have and yeah, Brody, it is a small sample size, but for him to come up and have 2 really good games like this, and San Jose's been a pretty good team. So they're not a bad team at all. So are they a litmus test team? No, maybe not. But they do have some good players that he played good against. Timo Meier being one of them. Tomas Hertl being another. Logan Couture. He's playing good against some of these kids. Or some of these guys. And then Jonathan Dahlen was on there too. And he's been really good for San Jose this year. So, sure, yeah, we've only won, though. He's only played in 2 games and we've won both games. So we can't really say anything there that, Lou. I understand the sentiment and the concern there, but we can't really say that he hasn't, we can't really use that yet, So, again, yeah, you want to see him how he looks in a loss to get a little more of an accurate representation. I don't even want to know if I want to see him against the loss. It's not necessarily the loss. It's I want to see him against a good team, and you know what? I want to see him tested. So, but again, the other thing is that he's playing with Patrick Nemeth, and he's playing so damn well, despite the fact that his partner is junk, to say the least. Junk, and I'm being nice there. So, Rick, you're right. Luckily, they woke up after Philly's second goal. So, but yeah. So I love what I've seen from him. I think that he's got a bright future, obviously, and I think he belongs. I know it's 2 games. It's kind of early to say that, but the plays that he's making, and that'll actually go to the third point that I wanted to make, was from Honky Lips here. Schneider looks poised with the puck. He makes the smart plays. And you're right about this. He's completely made all of the Nemeth into the sun. You're right about that too. But he's made all of the smart plays. Steven, I'm gonna bookmark that, by the way, that question that you had there. But he's made all the smart plays. He's been in the right places at the right times. He's made the right decisions with and without the puck. And yeah, I know that he also went to the he went to go pick up another guy in front of the net and then didn't get the guy that he could have gotten. But again, that's why I said Panarin's got to be a little harder on that back check if he's going to be the first man back. You got the first man back has got to pick up the third man. And no matter if it's the center or the wing, if you're back checking and you are the first back checker back, you have to pick up the third man on an on-man rush. That's hockey fundamentals 101. So I'll give Schneider a pass there. Panarin, yeah, he's a little rusty, and I can't kill him for that because he had a great game otherwise. But that's the one thing I'll say that was bad about Panarin's game, was just that one play. That's it. So. But yeah, Schneider continues to impress, and I think he's going to stay probably. So we're gonna talk about Steven's question later of which one needs to go though. So moving on to my next point is that Foxy had another good night. Fox has been pretty damn good. Pretty damn good to say the least. I should say he's been phenomenal, excellent, Norris caliber. What can I say about Adam Fox anymore? I'm running out of adjectives. I'm running out of things to say about his play. I'm running out of things to gush over with Adam Fox. But he had a pretty good night. He had 2 assists. He was making the Adam Fox-like plays that we know Adam Fox for. Ryan Lindgren, I thought, was solid. Steady. Unspectacular, but Ryan Lindgren. But Adam Fox was it's another night at the office for Adam Fox. So, puts up 2 assists. And he could have had a goal. He almost had one with the Kreider tip. Who knows if Hart would have stopped that? But yeah, he's being foxy. I like this, Mike. I like this. So, but yeah, really good night for Fox. I'm not going to talk too much about him because there's really not a whole lot I could say. And this is great. I mean, if you see Fox live, it's the little plays that don't show up on the score sheet that really impress you the most about Adam Fox, if you ask me. That's the biggest thing for me. Like, he makes plays that, unless you really, really, really know hockey very well, you're not going to understand how good he actually is. So we're getting to watch a once in a generation type defenseman here, I think. So I love it. I know you guys all love it and girls all love it. So, we're going to move on from Foxy because my next one is Chytil actually looks good on the wing. You know what? We were talking about, him not having a future here. Let's give this kid a chance on the wing. Let's see what happens. And he's looking good so far. I think he's got, 4 points in his last 4 games. So good for FIlip. and he brought his legs last night. He looks like he wants to seize this spot. You know what? Hopefully, him getting out of the center position is the key to finally awakening his game. I mean, he gets the goal on the great play from Panarin last night. I mean, and it just you got to be happy with that. Another point for him. His game is picking up. It seems like in the last few games. He's not a play driver, and you're right about that, Mike. He definitely belongs on the wing. So, Mike, I do see your other comment about Morgan Barron. We're going to talk about him in a little bit too. But Chytil definitely looks good on the wing. I think that he might have a spot here. And if Kakko and Chytil can be the 1-2, maybe you go get something else instead of going and trying to go after someone like Giroux or Pavelski or Riley Smith or Phil Kessel. I still think they might anyway, just because of the fact that I think that they want the depth. But I like what I've seen from Chytil on the wing so far. So I think that the biggest thing for me is when he's engaged and when he's moving his feet, he's a very effective player. He's not a play driver, but an effective player. You don't have to be a play driver to be an effective player. Yes, it helps at center. But if you have him doing what he's doing on the wing, it not only can he feel more comfortable, but it lessens his defensive responsibilities on the wing. And that could be a big thing for his career. So hopefully we're seeing the start of something good with Chytil. Gonna move on from him. The third line, I put in quotations because it's basically the fourth line. So Rooney, McKegg, and Reeves actually played very well. I thought they were good, and they made a few good plays. Reeves almost had 2 goals last night. I know McKegg set him up on one, and then he was set up later on by, I think Rooney set him up on the other. I'm not sure, but I know that McKegg almost set him up for one earlier on. And Turk has some tough choices to make. So Greco was taken out of the lineup for Julien Gauthier, and Julien Gauthier had himself a game. We'll talk about him in a bit too. But I thought that whole that third line, since it's our fourth line basically. Excuse me, sorry. Had to get that one out. But I thought the third line played very well. There's a lot that you can ask for. There's a lot to ask of a line. And asking a fourth line to step up and be a third line is just is a lot. And you're talking about guys like, Kevin Rooney. You're asking him to provide more offense. You're asking Ryan Reeves to play on your third line. And we love Revo as a fourth liner. We do. And because he's a good one at that. But asking those guys to play third line minutes, that's a big ask. But they did well in that role last night. I got to give all 3 of them credit. Kevin Rooney played a hell of a game. I think that he was one of the better forwards they had last night. And that says a lot considering that the uptick in responsibility that he had to handle from his normal assignment. So good for Kevin Rooney, good for Ryan Reeves, Big Daddy Revo, and good for Greg McKegg, who I actually thought played decent. You know what? I'm not a McKegg fan. I'm not, but he had a good game. I got to give credit where credit is due. McKegg played good. Like I said, he almost set up Reeves for a goal. Reeves just missed it. You know what? I can't say anything bad about McKegg's game last night. Hopefully, if he plays, hopefully he could play like that every time he plays. So, but moving on, I will say the fourth line, Mike, is ahead of me by just a second. The fourth line was very impressive. I thought, and Mike, I agree with you. I totally agree with you on this. We have better options than McKegg. But the fourth line was great. Julien Gauthier came back, and he looked like he had something to prove. He didn't score, but he did everything but score. And that was the thing. He really was a driving force on that line. And him and Morgan Barron. And Tim Gettinger looked really good too. And Gettinger is starting to show that he's not completely behind in terms of speed. I know that he can improve his speed a little more. And I think if he does, I think he can be a regular NHLer on a fourth line. And you know what? A big body with some skill and smarts like him would be a good fourth line option. And I honestly, from the way that he's played in his stint up so far, I have no problem having him out there even late in games because he's played responsible two-way hockey. And he's been good along the boards. He's been physical in the last few games. And I you know what? And you're right about this, Brody. Gauthier is fearless in driving that net. If he can just finish, he would be such a dangerous player. He really would. And I'm with you on this, Rick. I would gladly replace McKegg with Greco because Greco's got another gear, and I think he's got the offensive touch that McKegg just does not have. So McKegg was a scorer in junior, but just never translated at the NHL level, and that's fine. It happens. So, I do agree with this, Mike. I've said this about Kakko. I've said this about Laffy. I would love to see Gettinger do work on it. But, the skating training is like the biggest thing for me. That and the conditioning and the strength and conditioning. Skating and the strength and conditioning. I think the guys need to I think there are definitely some guys on the team that need to work on it. Excuse me. All right, this is probably me just crashing after just playing so much hockey and having little sleep. Sorry, guys. But I'm going to keep going here. I'm going to move on from them because I think that, and Greco, you're right, Leo. Greco did look very good. But I was impressed, and because I wanted Palmieri to play, Leo. And I think that Greco actually had a hell of a game. So, and welcome back, Leo, by the way. Joe, you're right about this. I mean, could you imagine like having the way that this team is playing, not getting the productions from Kakko and Laffy, especially before this season? When before the season started, we all said that Kakko and Laffy had to contribute for this team to be able to make the playoffs and make some noise in the playoffs. They haven't contributed nearly enough, and this team is still playing so damn well. Like, what gives? Like, aside from Igor and, the usual, what gives? And Lou, this is the word, surprising. It really is surprising. So, but yeah, I love what I've seen from this fourth line. I think all three of those guys should be in the discussion for a roster spot. So Kreider too, yeah, and Kreider's been a big one. You cannot discount 24 goals. Remember, they don't ask you how; they ask you how many. So. Yeah, good on Chris Kreider to have the year that he's had. He's 6 goals away from 30. It looks like he's going to hit 30 for sure. If he doesn't hit 30, he is going to incur the wrath of the Rangers fan base. And yeah, I would have to be there for that. So, but yeah, you're right, Mike. We were hoping for a wild card berth, and here we are in a battle for the Presidents. That's huge. That's huge. We are within striking distance. Not even within striking distance. We're right there. Right there. Think about those words. So yeah, it's good. It's a good time to be a Ranger fan. It really is. And you know what? Hold on here. I was just trying to catch a point. Brody, great point. Not sure if it's Gallant, but Kreider has finally found a way to be consistent. Totally agree on this. You know what? When I get back to these, I just want to finish up the bullet points. So I'm going to bookmark this one, Leo. We're going to get back to that in a little bit when we do Q&A. We don't have too many. So, yeah. Chris, I do. You know what? I could see why you would do it. I just don't know if that line would really work because I don't know if there's a play driver there. So 5 more goals before Kreider. Yeah, I saw this comment earlier on, Steven. I know you said it once before, so. The only positive about Kakko and Laffy is that they're net neutral. They understand the game enough to not weigh the team down, but they aren't rowing the boat. Yeah, you know what? I agree with that to a point. I don't think they're net neutral. I would say they're small positives because they can contribute when they're not scoring, but it would help a lot more if they were. So, sure, yeah, that is a good point, Mike. We'll talk about that in a little bit. They better start building a new arena soon because the city is going to kick us out. Yeah, I've been hearing about that. Hochul and Dolan were talking about that supposedly. So yeah, let's see where we go from here. So, all right. So these are the two. I'm gonna say I have one bad and one ugly. So we will finish up the good with.
That's good.
So that's all the good. So we're going to move on to the bad, and we're going to say that Miller and Trouba need to be better. They did not have a great game last night. I tell you right now, I was not a fan of the way that they both played. They just too many mental mistakes from them. K'Andre Miller got beat to the outside too many times. He got beat by Zach McEwen, one of them. And he made too many plays where he was just not on his feet. He wasn't using his body. Cam Atkinson beat him another time. And again, he didn't use his body enough. Like, you've got to use your body as a defender, especially when you're a big body defender. And he got caught, like, watching. I don't know what he was doing. He just, Zach McEwen skating by Miller. Just not a good look for K'Andre Miller. This is the thing, Mike. You're right about this. Miller looks really bad, and Miller is still depending on, reaching instead of, closing the gap and using his frame. You know what, though? The thing is, he got fooled by a stutter step on Atkinson, and then McEwen just blew by him, and he didn't even bother. He was, like, flat-footed. It just, again, mental mistakes from Miller. Mental. Like, he's got to be consistent mentally. It's not the efforts with him. It's just mental mistakes, and it's annoying because he played so good for the first half of his rookie year, and he's played good in various games in this year. And then he's had stretches even when he's played well. And then he just has these games where it's like, what are you doing, man? I mean, I don't know. I like Miller. I do. I want him to be better, but it's just frustrating because I know he's young and he hasn't been playing defense for that long, but these are things that, like, you're not supposed to be doing when you're like 10 years old sometimes. Ugh. I just wish he would just be more consistent. So, but and then Trouba actually left Miller out to dry a couple of times. He roamed to the point in one of them, and it ended up being a chance in front. I mean, Igor made the save, thankfully. It was earlier on in the first period. But you know what? You can't do that if you're Trouba. And Trouba, he wasn't physical last night. I don't know why. It's when he plays physical, he's better. He starts to instill fear in people. I forget who it was that was saying, talking about Ryan Reeves before in the chat, saying that Reeves showing his worth, scaring the hell out of the entire NHL. I forget who said that comment, but that comment was perfect because it's true. And Miller and Trouba have got to do that. They've got to start using their body more. So, and I agree with this, Chris. musical chairs with left defense is no longer good. Is no good. I wouldn't say this, Mike. I just think that he had a bad game last night. I don't think that he's disappeared. So, and I get it. It's tough to play that way for 82 games. Lose right. You can't do it all 82 games. But you could still bring a physical element to your game for some, or at least somewhat of a physical element to your game for 82 games. So, I don't think so, Steven. I think that Del Zotto's rookie year was really good. I think the first half of Miller's rookie year was good. Del Zotto almost finished with 40 points as a rookie. Miller didn't really finish with nearly as many points, obviously, because of the shortened season, but his play was really good in the first half of last season, and then he hit a wall. And it's been kind of up and down. So, yeah, I don't know if Miller is necessarily untouchable, Brody. I know that they deemed him off limits in the Eichel trade, but I think part of that was because they weren't getting the medical records for Eichel. So, I do agree with this from Steven. Miller has a longer leash than Howden. It is true, at least from what I'm seeing. And you're definitely right about this, Mike. When Miller is on, it's easy to understand why the organization loves him. But when he's not, it's bad. So, point being that he's regressing while fans are still expecting more. Yeah, fair. I just don't think the trajectory in terms of the way that they played is really the same. But in that aspect, you're right about that. I definitely would give you that. No, but sometimes you're not always going to throw those big checks, Mike. That's not going to happen in every game. Those are not things that happen every game. But I mean, I could go back through the schedule here and even tell you. So their schedule loading up. All right, so January we have Vegas, Anaheim. He was pretty physical against Anaheim. LA, I don't think he even had a chance. San Jose, he was super physical against San Jose. He was all over Timo Meier and Tomas Hertl. So I don't want to I hate to ruin your parade there, but he was definitely super physical in that game. The Edmonton game, he was physical in. He hit somebody in the Edmonton game. But yeah. So I'm going to move on from Trouba and Miller, though. There's only one more thing. And it's obviously this one. The ugly. Patrick Nemeth is just awful. I can't say... I can only say so much about how bad he actually is, but the fact that Brayden Schneider in his 2 NHL games has really been able to pick Patrick Nemeth up like that is phenomenal. I would say that's a hell of a lot of poise to be able to carry someone like this as a rookie. Like that's something else. He's just, he's awful, but he's Swedish. And the good, the bad, the Nemeth. Lou, did he make any plays that ended up in the back of his own net? No, but I mean, he wasn't great. He wasn't great. So he wasn't good either. I don't even think he was meh. I think he was kind of poor. Maybe. Listen, against San Jose, he made a pass that went straight along the blue line in the third period to nobody. To nobody. And then he just, and this is another thing. He tries to kill our goalies for whatever reason. So, but yeah, Schneider's ready. We were talking about that before. We'll talk about that. We'll talk more about that in a bit, Chris. I'll bookmark that comment. But Nemeth just, Give me Zach Jones with Schneider. Let me see what the two of them could do together. So, yeah, I definitely I liked what I saw overall from them. I was told the second period was a little bit of was not really worth watching. So, but yeah, I'm assuming you're saying yes, Mike, to Jones and Schneider as a pair. Yeah, I want that. I want that. So we're done here with our points. If you have any other points, make them a part of the Q&A. Yes, Chris, I'm trying to manifest this the same way that Sean Statler manifested Reeves to New York. So, yeah. All right, so we're gonna go over some of the bookmark comments. First one's interesting here. What did I think of Butch Goring's tweet? If you check out my Twitter, I actually quote tweeted Butch Goring, and I basically told him that Islanders fans do not show up, and historically do not show up, when the team is not doing well, and that we've proven this already. So, yeah, you know what, Mike, I will take a look at the presser. So, Jalen, are you trying to trigger me, man? Come on. I thought we were cool, buddy. I met you at the game. We were cool. We got to meet. Got to talk for a few minutes. And you're going to do this to me now, Jalen? Come on, man. Come on. But let me get rid of this banner. I totally forgot that I had this banner up. But yeah, to talk about the comment that I just had up before, that Butch Goring is just there. I told him to sit this one out because Islander fans don't show up to games. So, hey, Bailey, nah, leave it up. Good point. Nemeth is cheeks. You're right about that. We'll get that into our Q&A here. Nemeth is cheeks. We all agree on that. But yeah, I listen, Butch Goring needs to sit this one out. You're the last guy that should be talking. You're the last fan base that should be talking about Rangers fans going into quote-unquote hibernation from Twitter. Get out of here. Go take a hike, Butch. Find a hobby or something. So, we'll get through the other bookmark comments here. Brody's got a good one here that I want to go over. It's not sure if it's Gallant, but Kreider has found a way to finally be consistent. Yeah, that's huge, Brody. That's huge. I think that I've actually asked this question, sort of asking it and stating it at the same time, if you will, but saying that in the past that Gallant, yeah, Dave, I'll take a Cowboys loss. Thank God. 20, what, 5 years now, or 26 years now and counting for Dallas? Yeah. So, but yeah, if this is interesting, Mike. I'm gonna bookmark that because we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, I think that hey, John, by the way, and go Bills, I see. But hey, John, welcome back, bud. What did I just had up before? The comment that I just had up before. I'm totally drawing a blank right now. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm shot. Sorry, guys. It's probably the lack of sleep getting to me here. We were just talking about. Oh, that's right. And I just had it in my head for a second. I just lost it again. Wow, this getting old thing sucks. Yeah, so I'm having a moment. What did I just have up? Whose comment did I just have highlighted before? Oh, Gallant and Kreider. Thank you, Chris Frost. I appreciate that. Yes. I think if anything, I think that, and like I said, I said before that I kind of asked it, but stated it while asking it simultaneously, saying that Gallant has found a way to tap into Kreider. I think this actually might be the case. I don't know if it's just Gallant. I think that Kreider might just want that captaincy. I think that's part of it. And I think that he really wants it, and that's part of the reason why his play has improved to the way that it has. I mean, he's been really good. This has been the consistency that we've been looking for about 10 years now, almost, from Chris Kreider. And you know what? Mike, you may be right about that. It may be the system. So I'm going to bookmark some of these as well. I don't know if it's necessarily the system, but he is playing very well. And I think that sometimes a change in the voice, sometimes that helps. So I think that Kreider is just responding well to Gallant. I think part of it is that Gallant is a Jack Adams winner, and he pushes the right buttons. And I think that he gets Kreider, and Kreider gets him. And I think that, yeah, and Lou, maybe you're right about that. Maybe DQ burned Kreider. Maybe he burned Kreider out. So, but yeah, I you know what? I don't know exactly what it is. It could be a combination of things, but Chris Kreider is playing the most consistent and best hockey of his career. Maybe it just took a while to find. Hell, it took Todd Bertuzzi years to find it. And then it took Todd Bertuzzi years to find his game and Marcus Naslund. So, but yeah, I see your comments about Lindgren. We're going to talk about Lindgren in a little bit. So, but trying to get some of these, even though I keep adding more as I'm trying to get through all of your guys' comments here. Let's see. We'll go to Steven here. One has to go. So here's a question. Who's traded? Robertson, Jones, or Miller? So I will go back. And I think that Robertson is probably the guy to go. I think they would value him the least out of the three. I think Jones is the guy you want to hold on to. What does size matter with Keandre Miller if he, one, has trouble defending, and two, doesn't use the size? Yeah, that would do it. We're going to talk about that in a little bit too. Got another one that I bookmarked, so we'll bookmark that one, Steven. But I honestly think that it's Robertson's probably going to be the one to go. I would trade Miller if they could somehow find a way to get Chytil and then work in his cap for the next few years, even though I think that getting Chytil would probably cause problems further down the road after his deal ends. So that's just me. If they want to do that, I would gladly trade Miller in a deal to get Chytil. So we'll try to get through more of the starred ones that I bookmark. Yeah, I didn't get to see the McDavid presser, Mike. So you said it was brutal. I'm going to watch it. We're going to have me do another honest press conference with McDavid this soon. I just did one last week. So get through that. Leo, your comment here is a good one. I know, yeah, he has contributed in the corners and defensive work. And yeah, he would get some third assist if there was a third assist. I don't agree that he's been consistent, though. He has had some games where he has looked like just a step behind or not engaged enough, and we need more from him, Leo. We just need more. It's simply the case. So I like Kakko, and I want him to do very well, but he's been up and down this season, to say the least. So I'm going to hide this one. Going back and seeing some of your comments here that are coming in. Yeah. Dominic Moore played a big, heavy game. So, I'm gonna highlight that one. I know I keep saying I gotta get rid of him, and then you guys keep putting in good comments that I want to get to. So, Mike here with this one. If you look at our losses against playoff teams, most were against Georgiev. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I'd have to look at the numbers and splits and everything. But Igor definitely gives you a better chance against these teams. So good to have Igor back and playing well. League leader in goals against and save percentage before last night's game. I'm not sure if that changed. I'd have to, again, look at the stats. But he's got to be a Vezina favorite right now. So, and going back to your live comments. Yeah, they're not doing that, Steven. Anaheim is not moving Troy Terry right now. Good luck. I don't want Lehkonen. I don't think he does anything, especially not for Kravtsov. So, all right. So trying to get through these. Yeah, I don't think you're moving Terry unless it's for like an elite young forward. I don't see that. So don't see that at all. I'm going to get back to the bookmarked comments here. Steven with a good question, a little OT, not Rangers related, but 138 goals for Ovi to tie Gretzky. Yeah, I think he's getting it. I think with this season really is, unless he gets hurt, I think he's getting it. I think we're at that point where it's just kind of a given. It's just a matter of when, not if anymore. Can't say Terry's a one-year wonder. We don't know. We haven't even gotten through this full year yet. So totally agree on this, Steven. I think it's best for both him and the team for him to come up into this lineup. So that's just my opinion. John, yep, that's your boy. I know. So Andrew Kopp, would love to get him, but I don't think he's going to be available. So, all right. So we got rid of that one. So we got 6 bookmarked ones left. We'll go with Jalen's. Do we trade Lindgren in the near future? Jalen, no, I don't think we trade Lindgren. I don't. I don't even think that Chytil would be a good idea because Lindgren is going to get on his next contract somewhere between 5 and 5.5 million. He's going to get just under Pelech money. He's a very good shutdown defender, but Pelech's arguably the best shutdown defender in the league, and he just got barely under 6. So I don't think that they will trade him. You're going to get a top pairing, a guy who's really a top 4 defensive defenseman who could skate and move the puck somewhat well, even though he doesn't put up any points. So, I mean, he can just eat a ton of minutes responsibly and steadily. So, I will go out and say that they're not trading him unless they're getting an elite left-handed defenseman coming back in return. I don't see how they trade Lindgren. That's just me. So I'm gonna say no to that, Jalen. Tomas, gonna need clarification here. I don't know if you're asking Niels or Jones as which one I want to keep. So Tomas, tell me what I'm doing with that. Is it which one do I want to keep or which one do I want to trade, or was it when I was talking about somebody in a comment? I don't know. So, but yeah, definitely just comment here. So I know which one, what you're talking about here. So I'll get back to that when I hear from you. So get rid of that. Steven, Othman versus Cooley tonight. Othman with 2 goals and an assist. Cooley with 3 assists and a 6-3 win for the Spitfires over the Firebirds. And good for Othman. He continues to show that he's a hell of a player. So, Oh, Tomas. Okay, so which one is readier for the NHL? I would say Jones. I think it's Jones, and it's nothing against Nils. I'm a huge Nils fan. I want him to succeed, but I would be lying to myself if I didn't say that I was more impressed with Jones. That to me, I see a lot of Fox in Jones. I'm gonna bookmark that one from you, Steven, because I want to talk about Hoffman more later. But I'm a lot of Jones's game reminds me of Fox, just at a lesser level. But Jones has the skating and shooting that Fox doesn't. Like it's, but Fox has the smarts and the skills that Jones doesn't. Like if you put the two of them together, they would be some unstoppable defensemen. They would be Cale Makar, but with much better defensive play if you put the two of them together. That's basically what they would be. So yeah. I'm going to bookmark that one from Jalen. Starting to get rid of some of these. All right. John, why are we being punished with number 12 on the ice? I'm going to answer this one because I can't say enough about how bad Nemeth sucks. Not that I haven't already said enough, but I guess we're being punished because we're Ranger fans. I don't know. We keep coming back for more. We're suckers, so they continue to do it. I don't know. Probably the experience and the size. Gallant seems to want size and toughness and grit, which, yeah, I get. You need it to a point, but Nemeth is awful. No matter how big or tough he might be, he can't hit anybody. He can't skate with anybody. So he needs to not be in the ice. He can't make simple passes. So he needs to be out of here. Mike, so by game 40, if the Isles keep playing 500 hockey, they could end up mathematically eliminated. The Islanders' schedule, I was looking at it with Anthony when we did our last weekly together, our weekly show with the three of us together. So, yeah, it did not look good for the Islanders. So, all right. Excuse me. So the next games are Flyers tomorrow and Tuesday, back-to-back, home and home. Coyotes. They could beat the Flyers both times. The Flyers are bad. If they go 3-0 these next three games, they might have a chance. I think Toronto's going to beat them next Saturday. Then they have the Flyers again. They could beat the Flyers. If they win 4 of those 5 games, it's different. Things look a little different, but I mean, they got some tough teams coming up. They got the Maple Leafs on the 22nd. Then they have the Wild on the 30th. They have the Sharks again on the 24th of February. LA on February 26th. Well, they have LA like basically twice in a month. January 27th and February 26th are both games against LA. But they're going to be on the West Coast in February. And then 27th, they have the Ducks. And then they have the Avalanche on March 1st. They have the Blues on March 5th. Avalanche again on March 7th. This schedule does not get any easier for the Islanders. So you might be right about that, Mike. They could be eliminated by a certain point. All right, so I'm just going to catch up with some of your comments here in the live section as opposed to the bookmarks. I don't know if I disagree that he didn't look quite ready, but I wasn't as impressed as I thought I was going to be Rick with Nils. So Nils looked pretty good, and then we got Jones. But you know what? It's a good problem to have, everybody. A great problem to have. So you know what? Let's take this and run with it. Yeah, Gerard will stay in the another year in college. I know I talked about that with you. Schneider and Jones could be a very good pairing, John. The only shot Nils has full-time duty if Trouba goes, maybe. So Nemeth is on meth. He plays hockey like he's on meth. So yeah, I'm with you, Jalen. If you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding. How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat? It's just another brick in the wall. So, yeah. Nemeth is not Finnish. He is Swedish. Yeah, he is Swedish. We will do a little cap friendly here because John Klingberg is Swedish, and I had his contract up, or had his page up because I was checking if he's left or right. I was pretty sure he was right, and I ended up being correct, thankfully. So I didn't say anything to make myself look foolish on here. Patrick Nemeth is Swedish. So yes. Chris Frost, I did not see that Wallstrom hit on VC, so I did not. I don't know about that, Mike. They seem to be pretty bad. Even with the Mike Yeo coach change, they're now a game under 500 to 5-6-3 with Mike Yeo. Yeah, I know a lot of Ranger fans hope that Tavares has a nice revenge game on the Islanders. So, yeah, and he's Swiss cheese. I think Carter Hart might be. I hate to say this because he's young, and you don't want to wish a young goalie or any type of young player to be done. But I think Carter Hart might be cooked. I think he might be cooked because he just does not look. He doesn't look good. How much would the Rangers? Oh, Tomas. All right, yeah, I like this one. How much better off would the Rangers been if Blade hadn't been injured? I don't know. He was playing decent. I don't want to say he was playing great. He was playing pretty good, but I'm not exactly sure. And you know what? Thinking about it, looking back on it, like it gave other guys a chance, and some of these other guys have contributed for us. Like Hunt was good in November. I mean, we had Greco come up. Gauthier, got a chance. They've been Chytil's on the wing now. So you know what? You got to take the good with the bad. But in this case, I'm going to take the good over the bad. And yeah, it sucks about Blake getting hurt, but you know what? I would be lying if I didn't say that I was happy with what I've gotten to see from some of the guys that have gotten to step up in Blake's absence. So, Chris Frost, yeah, I think Nils to the AHL is really to kind of help him and give him minutes and stuff. So, speaking of Chytil, who knows if he might explode now with Panarin or Strome? Maybe. They tried it once previously and it didn't work, but let's see what happens now. Nils can't overcome Nemeth. Yeah, Klingberg is right, whereas Nemeth is wrong. I like that one. Nemeth is Swedish. We would not want him in Finland. Oh, God. Nemeth is not even wanted in a country. So, yeah. Carter Hart needs a goalie whisper to revive his career. Yeah, you could. So that could help. Hey, look at what Benny Allaire has done for a lot of goalies in our system. Rick, you're right about this. Carter Hart definitely needs a better D-corps in front of him. What about a line of Laffy, Goodrow, and Greco? If Chytil stays on the wing, I don't know how that works. I don't see that working. I could be wrong, but I don't see that working, Chris. That's just me. So, yeah, this is correct, Dave. I don't think anybody hated Blay for for his play. I think it's just the fact that it's unfair because of the Butch Nevich trade, and he was the guy coming back. So it's kind of like how when Tino Martinez got traded to the Yankees, and he was replacing Don Mattingly. And he started off slow, and he got all that hate from Yankee fans because he started off so slow. And then Tino became one of the most beloved first basemen in Yankee history. So I know you hate hearing about the Yankees, but I think this is a pretty good analogy there. Speaking of Sammy Blais, Jalen wants to ask, what's Blais' next contract looking like? Jalen, I don't think he really gets anything more than what he's making right now, just because of the fact that he got hurt. So he's 25 years old. He's an RFA. I don't know if he's arbitration eligible on this. Oh no, he is arbitration eligible. Yes, it does say not cap friendly. Sorry. So he's arbitration eligible. So he does have some leverage to a point, but he hasn't had any more than 15 points in a season, which he had last year in 36 games. So he was on pace for, let's see here, 15 points in 36. I think that's like a 30 or 35 point pace. 15 divided into 36 equals. Okay, so yeah, 35 point pace. Sorry, yeah. So it's 34 technically, but 35. So, I definitely agree that they're gonna keep him back. They're gonna bring him back. They're gonna keep him. You know what? It's Chris, for us, I totally agree with you. You know, Subban, just dirty play, annoying. Thomas, welcome back. Chytil in the first and Kakko in the second line makes more sense. I agree with you there. But Chytil looked like he played well last night, so let's keep them together, see what they do, and then we can always get back to that at another point in time. So, it's a strange world where, I like this one. It's a strange world where Lambert and Barkov, an American and Russian name, are Finnish. Niskanen, Wallstrom, and Galchenyuk are American. Galchenyuk is a different story, though, because Galchenyuk is actually Russian, but he was born in America because of his father. I know I don't have to explain that to you. Virtanen, which is a Finnish name, or Finnish sounding at least, is Canadian. Tomas and Leo, I'll ask you guys about that since you guys are Finns. Do you know anybody with the name Virtanen, or have you seen that name in your country? Because it sounds Finnish, but seeing Jake Virtanen of all people, and then Nemeth, which is kind of an American name, really. There's two wrestlers with the last name Nemeth that are American boys. Dolph Ziggler, whose real name is Nick Nemeth, and his brother Ryan, who wrestles in AEW, is Ryan Nemeth. So, Virtanen is a very common last name. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, boys. I appreciate that. You guys are awesome. And so I knew it sounded like a Finnish name. Steven said it there too, but I always thought that was kind of interesting too. Steven kind of just brought it up. Santino did earn the respect and love of Yankee fans at this place. So Sluban is, that's it, Jalen. Sluban. We will refer to him as Sluban from now on. He's not Subban anymore. Yeah, I'm curious too, Tomas and Leo. How is it pronounced? Am I pronouncing it right, or am I pronouncing it wrong? So, I definitely liked that comment. Steven's got two more for me that I want to take a look at. First one is this one here. The locker room is so different from last season. You were talking to someone in the organization who used the words taking off the shackles. I like that. I absolutely love that. And I love that the locker room is different. I love that the locker room is more free-flowing. I love that the locker room is a better place to be. David Quinn had no idea of how to coach a team. No idea. He was coaching like he was coaching in college, and he put shackles on the young guns. And I don't like that at all. That's not how you develop kids. It's not. So to see this quote, for me, it resonates because I always thought that there was something off. And when he went out on COVID and Knobloch came in and they had that stretch of games under Knobloch, and then immediately when he came back and they had those 4 games, 2 against Washington, 2 against Buffalo, and they played like crap in those 4 games, but went 2-2. That's when I knew that there was that Quinn lost that locker room. So Rick, I do not know. I think there's still a few years left. You could ask the poster My Right Nut. He would probably know that. He's a big Mets fan, so I more or less correct. It's Virtanen. Virtanen. Okay. Virtanen. Yeah. Virtanen. That's correct, right, Tomas? 2027. Buyout ends in 2035 when he is 72. Oof, jeez. I wish I was getting paid $1 million a year until I'm 72 to not do anything. That's the life right there. Yeah, Chris, except Tom Coughlin was actually a good coach and won 2 Super Bowls. And sure, you could say that Eli Manning was a big part of that, and the defense was a big part of that. So, Virtanen would be a little. Don't mind the accent because I'm terrible at doing your guys' accents. So, yeah. Yeah, I would love to hear it in like an actual Liga game and how it's pronounced. So, but yeah, Bobby Bonilla. Yeah, Mets fans don't speak of that name. They don't. I have one last one for Steven. This one here. Hoffman now has more games with 3+ points than with 0 points. That is awesome. That is just awesome. That is an awesome stat. We talked about that goal share stat that you brought up earlier on in the season. Yeah, that is great. So, yeah, we've talked about this before. Virtanen. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm trying my best, guys. I'm trying my best. But yeah, that me and Steven have actually talked about this before. Steven's brought this up to me and told me about this. So Richards, DiPietro, and Bonilla sitting at a rooftop bar in Manhattan with champagne. And yeah. So having fun with their buyouts. Hoffman, yeah. Hoffman is looking like an absolute steal. And just as Mike will give another reminder, just remember, like, share, and subscribe if you can, please, guys. Helps get more eyes on us. You know the spiel. I don't want to continue to bore you with it. So I will continue to keep going through your comments, keep them coming. I'm probably going to we'll go to 8:45. So another about 14 minutes we'll go. I didn't get to eat dinner yet, so I want to do that. I know it's going to be a late dinner. I also had a pretty late lunch because, like I said, I didn't know what was going on. So, I'm with you here. So yeah. Patrick Bacon. My God, that guy. Ugh. Can't stand that guy. That was the guy that told me that there's shot location or shot recording bias. I just can't stand some of these guys with this stuff on here. They record them differently at MSG as opposed to other arenas. That's why Henrik Lundqvist looked so good for as long as he did in his career. Yeah, I'm sure that had everything to do with why Henrik Lundqvist was so damn good. Okay, buddy. Ugh. It's these guys that post these things online. So, they post these things about. There was this argument that Henrik Lundqvist, his numbers were inflated. His analytics were inflated because of shot bias and bias in terms of shot recording and how they record high danger chances and stuff, and how MSG supposedly put MSG supposedly records high danger chances for further out than other arenas. And the evidence was that he had more, the quote unquote evidence, scorekeeper bias. Yes, that's it, scorekeeper bias. And that he would, that the MSG scorekeepers were recording high danger chances from further out as opposed to the away arenas. And it's the evidence that they had was that he had better numbers away, better numbers home than he did away. Really? That's your evidence? Like, how are you actually breaking this down? So I'm not even going to get into this again because it's stupid and the guy's a clown. He got clowned on by the entire Rangers fan base on Twitter. So I'm not even going to continue to bring this guy up. He's not worth my time. David, welcome back, by the way. I see you in here. Why is GG still keeping Kaapo with Kreider and Zibanejad? Kakko's an East-West player. I've said this before. I agree with you, buddy. He needs to be with Braden Strom. Chytil looks good there so far. I don't want to mess anything up with Chytil because if Chytil can really if he starts to raise his game, then I think you can move him up, and that's a sign of, hey, you know what, Chytil, you're playing well. We're going to put you here with these guys. And Kakko, your best hockey has been played this year with these two. So go play with the guys that you feel comfortable with. You know? So I think that would help. Yep, it's a shame that he's stuck in Edmonton and McDavid showing Eichel syndrome. Yeah. So Othman is big club or bust last year. So yeah, he's not going to be in the AHL. So you can't exactly do that, Leo. So and yeah, and part of it is balance. So Dave, yeah, the entire Rangers Twitter just took care of him. And then I blocked him because I thought he was a clown. So I think it's due to the fact that there's no one else that could play right wing on the Kravtsov will be back over. Trust me, he will. Yeah, his response, I feel like the good guy in a superhero movie after the first encounter with an unstoppable villain I've heard about but never felt firsthand. Yeah, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. Korzak will play in Hartford. I would be interested to see that. I would. Yeah, I can see why people are over him. And increasing his value would be great for all of them. No, Lou didn't do anything. Me, Lou, and Dave over here, David Ortiz, Steven. We went off on some guy that was basically sexually harassing Kim D'Amato. So nobody messes with my friends like that. So imagine the asking price for healthy McDavid. No, I don't want to. I'd rather go put my head through that wall over there. Because that asking price will make me want to do that. Leo, I think we will. I think it's best for both parties that he comes back and he plays well and can up his trade value, or even if the Rangers decide that they want to keep him and he decides that he wants to stay, and then he plays well and he earns a spot on the team going forward. So best way. Right hand, what's going on, bud? Got any questions or comments, keep them in. I'm probably going to do another 8 minutes, go to 8:45 Eastern here. So definitely get some comments in, man. Oilers will not get the asking. I don't know if any teams can ask. See, that's the problem. Everybody talks about these insane asking prices for these players. And then like these things, when they actually do end up happening, these players do end up getting moved. They don't end up doing anything. But the Mike, I will say this. The Gretzky trade is probably the exception to the rule, not the example here. Because Peter Pocklington was bleeding money out and wasn't going to be able to pay Gretzky. And that's why there was, $15 million that went back to Edmonton in that trade. Now, I mean, you can't trade cash anymore, but yeah, that was a big part of it. I mean, Jimmy Carson, Martin Jelena, Mike Krushelinski. I mean, some of the names in those trades were just, yeah. I don't think the Gretzky trade is really not anything to really point to. That's just my opinion. But Leo, don't let Goring hear you. He might never get over the shock. Yeah, I don't know. So Rangers and Avs have cups. Philly got Lindros. There you go, Lou. This is the best comment right here. The Rangers and Avs have their cups, and Philly got Lindros and a cup finals appearance in which they got swept. Sure, they beat the Rangers on the way there, but Philadelphia has one of the longest cup droughts in the entire league. Buffalo has one that's longer. St. Louis had one that was longer, but it's not there anymore. But Philadelphia, it's going to be 47 years for them. So, Lou, really, you nailed this. This is probably one of the best comments I think I've seen in regards to another comment down here. Perfectly said. You don't really have to say anything more than this. So, well done, sir. I don't have the beer up, but I will raise my water to that. Yeah, Leafs, 55 years right now. So, yeah. No, I don't think the Oilers will make the same mistake. If Connor McDavid said he wanted out, I think they'd move him. So, otherwise, maybe they move someone else. I think they could get more for Draisaitl because I think more teams can fit him under their salary cap. He's got probably the best contract in the league right now, Leon Draisaitl. I think the only contract that comes close is McKinnon's, but McKinnon's got less term on his. So, yeah, Gretzky, no, Gretzky was 14. He was born in 61, January of 61, Stephen. So, he was 14 when they won. Flyers didn't win in 76. Montreal did. Montreal beat them. That was when Larry Robinson hammered, and I use that word because if you ever watch the Legends of Hockey, Larry Robinson hit Gary Dornhofer so hard into the boards that they had to hammer the boards back into the place in the next whistle. And Bob Miller used those exact words. So that's why I use the word hammered there. So, yes, Leafs is the longest drought, Leo. So, yes. I don't know if they trade McDavid, but this is going to be an interesting offseason if Edmonton misses the playoffs. I will say that right now. There's going to be a lot of speculation about what's going to have to happen in Edmonton if they do not make the playoffs. So, Canucks and Sabres are around 50 years. Yeah. Sabres are over 50 because I think the 2019-2020 season was their they had the 50th anniversary uniforms. So, yeah, me too, Chris. I remember that. I remember wondering what the hell happened and then realizing that the puck was in the net. And then I was so happy because I didn't want to see the Flyers win, even though I didn't know at that time that the Blackhawks were a piece of shit organization. Yeah, I think multi-team might have to work because that cap is going to – moving a $12 million cap, it's going to be hard. So, McDavid looked so utterly defeated, his face was screaming for a rescue. YouTube. So, let's see. Let's see what see if I can find Connor McDavid press conference. David press conference. Let's see here. On 12/22. No, it's not showing the press conference from last night. I'm trying to find it. Nah, the most recent one that they have up for whatever reason is actually from the 12th. It's not from this one. Yeah, Oilers down bad. You're right about that. So, yeah, 83, definitely. Yeah, that would be earth shattering, but yeah, as you said, not happening. So, yeah, nobody but Kane knew it was in, and then he celebrated, and then Chicago celebrated. So, good here. Yeah, Mike, definitely share it with me on Twitter. You have my Twitter handle, so definitely share it with me, man. I will. Actually, I'm gonna pull this up on Twitter. Pull it up on my computer, and you guys can see me reacting to this. You're gonna get a live reaction to me watching a Connor McDavid press conference. Okay, so hold on. I'll watch from the beginning. And here we are.
I'm not sure what to tell you. Obviously it's been a long layoff, and come in and work ourselves to a 3-1 lead and give it away.
So you guys are playing with a lead, which is where you want to be. What do you think fell out of your game? Was it just a little bit of mental lapses there, or was it something as a group that you think just there was a low?
I wish I had an answer for you there. We're rolling along. We get a couple chances early. We don't finish them. We give up a 2-on-1, and and then it's yeah.
Connor, I know it's not the playoff for losses, but when you consider where you're at, you had a 10-day break. You're 2-9-2, and you're up at home. It's 3-1, and then you lose to a 30th place team. It's one of the most frustrating regular season losses you've had.
It's definitely up there. Yeah.
Man.
All right, well, that says it all.
Yeah, he is absolutely defeated. Mike, you're right about that. Holy shit. He is just wow. Yeah. He's wow. He's done. He's done. And this is actually a real good question and tied into that. You know what? We're gonna go until 9. We're gonna go until 9 because I think we've got a bit to talk about here. So you guys can thank Mike. He just gave you guys 15 extra minutes. So but I'm just going through Edmonton's their games here. So Edmonton's postponed tonight against Winnipeg. They were postponed. Let's see here. Did they play last night? Yeah, they lost the Senators last night, so that was last night's game. Did they play the night before? No. So their last game before that. Did they play Thursday? No, they did not have a game scheduled Thursday. Did they have a game scheduled? They had a game scheduled for Wednesday against Minnesota. That got delayed. They did not have a game Tuesday. The only thing I could say is that I think part of this might be the fact that he's one. Yeah, you're right, Rick. He feels lost. He feels lost. You're right about that because he's just searching for answers. And then 2, he just does. I think that the COVID protocols are probably pissing him off. They're probably pissing him off, and I don't know if he wants to say anything. And you know what? These days, people look at you. Oh, you have something negative to say about the way everything is going with COVID. And you know what? And it's a lot of these athletes are tired of it. You've seen Tyler Myers, you've seen Steve Yzerman, you've seen. Do I need to go over all the guys that have said something about the protocols and how stupid it is? He's probably tired of Canada's stuff. He's probably tired of it. He's over that too. They're losing. He's not scoring as much as he was scoring earlier on in the year. I mean, I don't think he had a point last night. Yeah, he didn't have a point last night. You know what? And he's not happy. And you're right, Mike. Everyone is tired of the protocols. They're tired of it. You know what? And I understand that they want to play hockey and they want to get games in and they don't want to lose money. But Canada they got to get their shit together. And that's it. It's enough is enough. Get it together. So, you know what? I'm tired of it as well. I'm tired of it. And you know what? You're saying that we don't have any games against Canada. I want to double check this because I thought they had games against some Canadian teams left. All right, so we do not. All right, no, we have a game against Toronto on. Are you talking games in Canada, Mike? Because we have Toronto on the 19th. That's our next game on Wednesday. So if you're talking about games in Canada, okay, then sure, you're definitely you might be right about that. So we got Toronto on Wednesday, Friday Carolina, Arizona on next Saturday at 7, LA on next Monday the 24th at 7, Columbus the 27th, Minnesota the 28th. That's a back-to-back night, and then Seattle the 30th. Finish playing in Canada. No. Toronto is a home game, Mike. Sorry. That's why I was trying to say that before. That's why he said that, But, I just, you have to wear masks here, Chris. It's not the masks so much as it is the protocols themselves for these guys testing for being asymptomatic. That's the thing. They're getting tired of it. They're done with it. No, I think what Mike was saying, Rick, is that the Rangers don't play in Canada anymore. See. No, Toronto on the 19th is a home game. So Vancouver on the 27th is a home game. We're playing Vancouver at home. No, we have a game in Winnipeg in March on the 6th. So Winnipeg, March 6th. Let's see here. Do we have any others? No, we have an Ottawa game that we have to reschedule, John. That's actually a good point. Yeah. And yes, Rick, you have to be vaccinated. So, which I am. I will probably be getting my booster in March. So, I actually had COVID last year. I had it in March. You guys probably remember. A lot of you OGs that were watching with us back in March back then. I had it. I actually did 2 episodes of this with COVID and it was not fun. I felt like crap. I was even laying down for part of it because I was really, really just lacked the energy to get through it. So it was really bad. My breathing was bad. And that was part of why I lost all this weight because I told myself that I would never take my health for granted ever again after that. So, I'll be getting my booster in March because that's when I'm eligible for it. John, I know we have an Ottawa game that is to be rescheduled. That was one of the games that was postponed. I don't remember how many games were postponed. I know there's an Islanders one as well. That was the first one that was postponed. But I know there's a couple, I believe. So we'll see what happens. I know that they're going to try to use that February break to make up postponed games so they don't delay the season too long. But, yeah. So, McDavid, if they don't make the playoffs, that's not looking good for Edmonton. And there's going to be a ton of speculation about what's going to happen with Edmonton. There's probably going to be some sort of sweeping changes. I wonder who gets dealt at that point. I really do. So, yeah, we have the most games played in our conference. You know what? And that's a good point. So, tied with Washington, 39 games. Yep. And thankfully, Washington lost today, even though Ovechkin scored. Doesn't matter to me if he scores or not. But, what matters is the standings. So now we're 3 points ahead of Washington, and Washington does not have any games in hand. Is it just me? Or does Washington not scare you nearly as much as they did earlier on in the year? Yeah, you're right. And you're right about this. Most road games in the league, Chris and Rick. So, and furthermore, I'll go back into the schedule. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 games in April, and only 4 of them are on the road. And 2 of those games are in New Jersey and at UBS. So they don't really even have to go far. They don't have to really travel at all in April. That's amazing. That's great. In March, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 games in March. And 3, 4, 15. They have 6 road games and 9 away games in March. So, Tampa, yeah. And Tampa's the Islanders always play well against the Rangers, and that's the one thing. If they have that team back at the when we face them next, they have their full team back. They're going to come out hard. I don't think they're the team that they were last year, or the year before, but so I don't know. I don't think that they're as scary. The Canes are a scary team. Yes, they are. Vegas is obviously scary because they beat us twice without Eichel and Pacioretty. So yeah, I'm not really a fan of that matchup. Colorado obviously is a scary team. Nashville's playing well right now. Pittsburgh is scary right now. But Washington doesn't scare me as much. They just don't. So. Leo, see you, buddy. I'm gonna wrap it up in a few minutes anyway, so you're leaving at the right time, bud. But have a good one. I think we can beat Carolina. I think their goaltending is really not that great. Their defense moves the puck well, but I want to see them pinned in their own zone, especially Tony DeAngelo. That guy's a turnstile on defense in his own zone. So, but yeah. So. What else do I want to do here? No, you know what? I think I'll wrap this up. I know I said I was going to go until 9, but I'm going to wrap this up. I'm definitely hungry. So, sorry guys, but this got dilapidated with the scheduling and everything like that. Let's see here. I'm looking at the schedule for Wednesday. All right, so next game is Wednesday. I will do a watch along for Wednesday. So join me for the watch along on Wednesday. definitely, Brody. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, John. Broncos, hope that you're right about that. Thank you all for coming and joining me. But I'm going to do a watch along on Wednesday, I believe. So I will try to schedule it. If I can't, again, if you guys all don't follow the Facebook page, join the Big Apple Hockey Facebook group. I will link it in here. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, let me just link that in here. Yeah, so Big Apple Hockey on Facebook.com/groups, Big Apple Hockey. Thank you very much, Lou. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Rick. Thank you very much, Chris Frost. Thank you, Brody. But yeah, join the group to keep updated. I will update in the group. I'm sorry, just this weekend was just nuts. So just had a lot of stuff going on this weekend between yesterday and today. So thank you very much. And you all have a great night. Let's go Rangers. And hopefully I'll see you all Wednesday.